Emmitt Smith has that all-time record of Walter Payton's in his sights.
Emmitt Smith has done it again.
It was something beautiful to watch.
Hand off Smith at left tackle, a block from right, gets him to the 40, breaking right to the 45.
Smith cutting backwards, he does so brilliantly.
Look at coverage, makes a cut, gets it. Oh, he's still going. Oh, he's going to score. He's got the 5. That handoff, Smith coming right. He's got 5. He's got the 20. He circles to the 10. Touchdown.
How this guy makes people miss.
When you put the ball in his hand, he was magic.
In a dusty high school football field in Pensacola, Florida, where the humid air hangs thick and dreams seem as distant as the professional stadiums 1,000 miles away. Yet on this very field, greatness was taking its first steps. A young man with quiet determination and explosive speed was about to begin a journey that would redefine what it means to be unstoppable. His name was Emmitt Smith, and this is the story of how a boy from the Florida Panhandle became the NFL's all-time leading rusher, a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and a legend whose impact transcends football itself. Before we dive into this incredible journey, let me paint the full picture of what Emmitt Smith accomplished. We're talking about a man who rushed for 18,355 yards in his NFL career, won 3 Super Bowl titles, captured an NFL MVP award, was named NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year in 1990, earned 4 rushing titles, made 8 Pro Bowl appearances, and was inducted into both the College Football Hall of Fame and the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2010. He holds the NFL record with 164 rushing touchdowns and 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's the only player in NFL history to win a rushing title, a Super Bowl, and a Super Bowl MVP in the same season. But statistics only tell part of this remarkable story. Growing up in Pensacola during the 1980s, Emmitt James Smith III lived in a world where football wasn't just entertainment. It was escape, hope, and possibility rolled into one. His father, Emmitt Jr., worked multiple jobs to support the family, instilling in his son a work ethic that would later become legendary. His mother, Mary, provided the emotional foundation that kept young Emmitt grounded despite the growing attention his athletic abilities attracted. At Escambia High School, something magical began to unfold. While other teenagers were figuring out their identity, Emmitt was already displaying the vision, patience, and explosive acceleration that would become his trademark. He didn't just run through defenses, he dissected them with surgical precision. His high school coach noticed something special. This wasn't just raw talent, but talent combined with an almost supernatural understanding of the game. By the time he graduated, he was a parade All-American and one of the most highly recruited players in the nation, even if some scouts doubted his speed. The numbers from his high school career were staggering, but more impressive was how he carried himself. While teammates celebrated touchdowns, Emmitt was already thinking about the next play, the next game, the next level. This relentless focus on improvement rather than achievement would become the cornerstone of his entire career. When the University of Florida came calling, many wondered whether this 5'11", 210-pound back from Pensacola could dominate at the highest level of college football. The Southeastern Conference was brutal, filled with future NFL stars and coached by legends who showed no mercy to unproven freshmen. But Emmitt Smith had something that couldn't be taught or recruited, an unbreakable will to succeed. His freshman year at Florida was a revelation. While other young players struggled with the speed and complexity of major college football, Emmitt adapted and thrived. He possessed an almost mystical ability to find gaps in defenses that others couldn't even see. His vision was superhuman, his footwork poetry in motion, and his determination absolutely relentless. He set a Florida school record by rushing for 316 yards in a single game against Mississippi State in 1987, a record that stood for decades. By his sophomore and junior years, Emmitt was rewriting the record books. He left Florida as the school's second all-time leading rusher, with 3,928 yards, and established himself as one of the most dominant players in college football history. But perhaps more importantly, he was learning lessons about leadership, adversity, and mental toughness that would serve him throughout his professional career. The decision to enter the NFL draft after his junior year wasn't easy, but Emmitt knew he was ready for the ultimate test. When the Dallas Cowboys selected him in the first round of the 1990 NFL Draft with the 17th overall pick, many experts questioned the pick. The Cowboys were coming off a disastrous one-win season 2 years earlier, and some wondered if a running back with Emmitt's size and style could translate his success to the NFL. Those doubts were quickly silenced. From his very first practice, Emmitt demonstrated that his college success wasn't a fluke. His rookie season was impressive. He earned NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year honors, and it was just the beginning of something truly extraordinary. He was joining a team that included a young quarterback named Troy Aikman and an explosive receiver named Michael Irvin. Together, they would form one of the most dominant trios in NFL history. The early 1990s were a time of transformation for the Dallas Cowboys. Under head coach Jimmy Johnson and later Barry Switzer, the team was building something special. But at the heart of this resurgence was Emmitt Smith, whose combination of talent, work ethic, and leadership elevated everyone around him. The 1993 season provided the defining moment of Emmitt's career and perhaps one of the most courageous performances in NFL history. Playing against the New York Giants with a separated shoulder, most players would have sat out the game. But Emmitt wasn't most players. With the Cowboys' playoff hopes hanging in the balance, he took pain-killing injections and returned to the field, rushing for 168 yards and catching 10 passes for 61 more. His performance led Dallas to victory and secured home field advantage. That performance wasn't just about physical toughness, it was about heart, sacrifice, and the kind of leadership that inspires teammates to achieve greatness. The image of Emmitt Smith, grimacing in pain but refusing to quit, became symbolic of his entire approach to the game. The Cowboys dynasty of the 1990s was built around Emmitt's consistency and reliability. While other stars had great games and terrible games, Emmitt Smith had great games and greater games. He won 4 rushing titles, rushed for over 1,000 yards in 11 consecutive seasons, and was named League MVP in 1993. He was also named Super Bowl 28th MVP, carrying Dallas to back-to-back titles. The 3 Super Bowl victories in the 1990s represented the pinnacle of team success, but for Emmitt, individual records were always secondary to team achievements. However, as his career progressed, one particular record began to loom large. Walter Payton's all-time rushing record of 16,726 yards. Walter Payton, known as Sweetness, was beloved throughout the NFL for his combination of talent and character. The thought of surpassing his record was both thrilling and daunting for Emmitt. When he finally broke the record on October 27, 2002, against the Seattle Seahawks, it wasn't just a personal milestone. It was a passing of the torch from one great champion to another. The later years of Emmitt's career, including his time with the Arizona Cardinals, showed a different side of his character. No longer the centerpiece of a championship team, he had to find new ways to contribute and lead. His professionalism and dedication never wavered, even as his body began to show the wear of more than a decade of NFL punishment. Retirement from football in 2004 marked the end of one chapter but the beginning of another equally impressive journey. Emmitt's business ventures, including real estate development and various entrepreneurial projects, demonstrated that his drive for excellence extended far beyond football. His surprising victory on Dancing with the Stars in 2006 showed America a different side of this legendary athlete, graceful, humble, and willing to step outside his comfort zone. He also became a football analyst and launched charitable efforts through Pat and Emmitt Smith Charities, giving back to underserved youth. Today, Emmitt Smith's legacy extends far beyond statistics and championships. He represents the power of preparation, the importance of character, and the truth that greatness isn't just about talent. It's about what you do with that talent every single day. His story reminds us that extraordinary achievements come from ordinary moments of choosing to work harder, dream bigger, and never give up on yourself. From that dusty field in Pensacola to the bright lights of NFL stadiums, from breaking records to breaking down barriers, Emmitt Smith proved that with enough heart, determination, and unwavering commitment to excellence, any dream is possible. His journey continues to inspire athletes and non-athletes alike, proving that true champions aren't just made on game day, they're forged in the countless moments when nobody's watching, when the work is hard, and when quitting would be easy. The boy from Pensacola became more than just a football player. He became a symbol of what's possible when talent meets determination, when dreams meet dedication, and when greatness meets humility.